palace attached to it. Man. So we went, we got down, we got into a rickshaw, he took us up the top of a hill, and there it was. And we stood in front of Shoreham Palace. And I didn't have the guts to look towards my wife. And she looked at me. It looked like a bhoot bangla. It looked like a haunted house. And I told her, you know what, let's go in. It must be nicer inside. So we went in. And literally, like any of these haunted horror movies, the door went, okay, I scared easy in any case. And my kids were saying, well, hello, we were so happy at home, Daddy, what are we doing over here? I go in, I enter the place, and the guy, one old codger came in, we put the bags. And I said, the room is dark. So is it light with it? So I went to the switchboard. All right, you're banning with me, right? Yeah. So I went to the switchboard and I found the switch. And I turned on the light. And guess what? It was still dark. It was still dark. But the light was on. Believe it or not, a light came on, but the room was dark because it was a 0 number bulb. There was no light in the room. That was the only light in that dilapidated little room, because if the light was any stronger, we'd see the cracks on the walls, right? So they didn't want to see the cracks on the walls. And I said to myself, I was devastated. I thought I was doing something good for my family, and this is the best I could offer. And my wife put her arm around me and said, don't you worry. And then I wanted to cry, but you know what I did instead? I started laughing. So we all hugged up and we huddled and we started laughing. It's worth laughing, you know. And I said, let's do one thing. Don't unpack your bags, I'm going into the city and finding another place. So instead of staying for 9 days, we'll stay for 3 days, but we have a nice time. So I went, we changed hotels, I got a place for 3 days, came back, and I said to myself, and I made up my mind that day, I've had hard times, but that's fine. But when you set out to do something for your family, you can't show them a hard time when you're trying to show them a good time. That's not fair. And I said to myself, and I looked at that 0 number bulb that was shining on, to know who I was that day. And my life was a big 0 on that day. And that was my 0 number bulb moment. And I think each and every one of us in this room, and I don't say I hope you never ever have that moment in your life, because I think you should. You should have a 0 number bulb moment. It is the epiphany of your life that will probably change it. Not that a lot of you in this room need to change your life, but you need sometimes to get a kick in the backside. Nevertheless, I came back to Bombay because the clock is ticking. And I came back, and the World Cup of boxing was happening, and all the Olympian boxers were going to be in Bombay, and I went to a gentleman and I said, would you please allow me to be the official photographer of the World Cup? And he said, we don't need one. I said, please allow me to do this job. Or give me ringside seats, I'll sit, I'll swap your floors, I'll sweep your office, I'll be a runner, I'll do anything. I'm 30 years old at this point of time. I've got 2 kids, right? 32, sorry, I was 32, 7 years had passed. And he said, okay. He finally gave me, this is a long story of how he gave me the job. The job for the whole week of work was going to pay me 2,500 rupees. And I said, wow, I'm going to be made. 2,500 bucks in 1 week was beautiful. Yes, so the Norwegian team was down there, and the Norwegian team manager called me, and this gentleman sent me to him and said, we need 3 photographs for the Norwegian paper and magazines for this boxer, because we are really, really supporting this boxer. So I said, fine. How much will you charge? Now, I didn't know a damn thing about what charges were like. So I said, I didn't have an answer, and I didn't want to give him a wrong answer, because if I gave him a wrong answer, then he'd think that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So he said, how much will you charge? So I said, international rates. Because at that point in time, I said, that's the wisest thing I've ever said in my life as far as business is concerned. Right? Because if I say $1,000, which would be a princely sum, I said, no, why should I commit to anything? If I overquote it, he'd say, you're fleecing us and you don't know what you're talking about. I said, international rates. What you pay to an American, you pay to me. Because this photograph is going in an international magazine. So he says, fair enough. I said, I'll let you know. And I walked all the places. I need 3 photographs. One, I need the boxer to hit the other guy, you know, with those typically rocky-looking shots with the spray of sweat. Okay. 2 is when the other guy is knocked down and my boxer is dancing over him. And 3, the third photograph is when he lifts the Norwegian flag. I need 3 pictures, and you got to radio photo them to me. We're talking about 18 years ago, all right? So there was no mouse. The only mouse that I'd known was the one that ran in my kitchen. And I said, okay, now comes the day of the bout, right? And this guy gets beaten up. The other guy was walloping him. I said, oh my God, there goes my international rates money. And I asked the other photographers, you know, the other professionals, how much do we charge? He said, $60 a photograph. I said, what? $60? And that's the lower side. What's the upper side? $100. $100. I mean, I was thrilled. That's the impetus I needed. Because I'd taken control of my life, remember? I stood on a table, remember? And I had to kind of justify standing on a table and say, okay, $100, that's $300. And I'm saying, so I suddenly, out of the blue, I shouted, come on, Norway! What's wrong with this guy, man? He's an Indian. Why is he shouting, come on, Norway? He was not shouting for the Indian boxer. Suddenly he's shouting, come on, Norway! I don't know, that guy must have listened, or maybe the Lord above was listening. I'm not so sure, but Norway gave him a roundhouse. Like that. And ring is square. The ring is square, don't know what that means. And I'm there, and luckily for me, this guy is not taking the punch like this, with his back to me. I'm there, it's like he's posing for me in a studio, and he gives him this shot, and sure enough, there was a spray of water. I mean, spray of sweat. And there was no motor drive in those days on the cameras. One shot, you get it or you don't get it. That guy falls like an oak tree, on the floor. Mr. Norway is dancing over him, posing for me. Posing. I'm not joking. He's saying, yeah, like, come on, take the picture, man. And the third one, on cue, he goes and picks up a Norwegian flag and waves it on. I've got 3. I go to a dark room, I process the pictures, I print the pictures, I go do a radio, send the radio photo. It used to take 8 hours to scan and send one picture in a big drum that looked like a washing machine. It made more sound than a washing machine. Now, I've taken a ticket, I've gone home, and my job is done. From VSNL, Mumbai. I get a call from Norway. This guy says, Mr. Irani, I said, yeah, tell me. He says, the pictures haven't arrived. I said, what are you talking about? I go back on my scooter to VSNL, and I start screaming at that guy at 12 o'clock in the night. I said, what do you mean you haven't sent the picture? He says, no, kya hai? They had only one scanner. One. And chief minister ka meeting mein. And I'm terrible, I don't know how to operate a phone, but I realized I could operate that machine. Came home, it was 6 o'clock in the morning. My wife is sitting on the steps of my little house, and she said, what happened? I said, I don't know. Have they reached? I said, I don't know. I walk into the house, and sure enough, the phone rings, and that guy, his name was Trikan Sandabo, I'll never forget that name. He says, Mr. Irani, your pictures are right. I'm doing a very bad accent, but nevertheless. I said, yeah. And the pictures are wonderful. I said, yeah. I started dancing. Oh, yeah? Okay, good. Okay, so I said, and what about the small matter of money? I said, why do people say small matter of money? I've never understood. It's the only bloody matter. There we go. He says, okay. I said, as I said, international rates. So I said, okay, you decide and tell me. So he goes into the other room, he comes back after 3 minutes. Okay? And he says, okay, Mr. Irani, 3 photos, oh, we pay you the top rate. 3 photos, $300. I said, so it was $100 a piece. And I said, thank you, God. And I was silent. I was silent. Mr. Irani, I said, yeah. Is that okay? I said, yeah, it's okay, man. Okay, so you go tomorrow to the manager and you collect your $900. He said, Mr. Irani? I said, yeah. Are you all right? Are you unhappy? I said, no. And I started dancing with my wife in the hall. You know, I really felt at that point of time, somebody up there likes me. Somebody up there was listening. Somebody up there. That's my belief. Now, for those who don't believe in these kind of things, it's fine as long as you believe in yourself and something inside. You have to have strong beliefs in what you do at the end of the day. And only then, and I tell you, in my dictionary, it's a miracle. It's a miracle because for a man who could not afford to take his family, within 6 months was earning this kind of money. And guess what? What happens after that? I come to Chennai, MRF that sponsored the event. So I'm in Chennai taking photographs. My first campaign, the tires we race on the tires you buy. I shot that, guys. Anyway. I get a call from Zinova and said they've sent the check. I said, no, we've collected the money, that's a mistake. Don't lodge the check into the account, please, because there's all kinds of complications. I go back to Mumbai, I open the check and I just admire it. I want to photograph that check and, you know, frame it. And I open the advice and it says $900 for reusage of your pictures. They sent me another $900 for reusage of my pictures. And they sent me another $900 and they sent me another $900. Believe it or not, this story is true. And I'm saying to myself, I think I know the approach, which is an approach of doing things as honestly as I can. Because that lesson that I learned that day, that there's a country in Scandinavia, in the cold, which has a lesser population than what I have in my area in Nagpara, Mumbai, right? These guys don't know who I am. I don't know who they are. We have no internet, we have nothing. But how would I ever know that they are reusing my pictures? But it was an act of honesty that has taught me today that whatever I do from this day on, I will always be honest to my work. It is a lesson that I've learned for life. When I go on to theatre after that, Shamak Davar introduced me to Alec Padamsee. And he says, Shamak, you know Shamak Davar? He says, you know, darling, I think you're meant for the theatre. I said, what are you saying? He says, yeah, I'm telling you, you're an actor. And he's met me just once. He says, you're an actor, trust me. He took me to Alec Padamsee, he made me sing a song for Alec Padamsee. Alec Padamsee looks at my face and says, I've seen talent in my time, I didn't know what talent is in 40 years and whatnot, and I know talent when I see it, and this man has no talent. Hello? And I'm saying to myself, please, I don't want to be an actor from this day on. Nevertheless, Shamak got me to that show. It was a show that didn't do very well, but suddenly the paper started writing about me, and suddenly they said, there's an actor. So I'm an actor, I'm doing theatre. I have to wind up, unfortunately. So I'll tell you two or three other things that I have to say about my career as an actor and where I am today. Because the rest of it you know. You know about Munna Bhai BBS, I'm sure you know about Three Idiots for sure, right? Today, when I went to pick up my first award, I didn't have a suit. I didn't have a suit. I got a suit made in 20 hours and it was sent to me backstage. I wore the suit and from backstage I went to pick up my award. My life had changed within a matter of 7 days. 28th of December, the movie was released, 5th of January was the... What I'm trying to tell you about the suit story is that we travel business class. We stay in the fanciest hotels. We wear the most, we wear good clothes, right? But what is it that one looks for eventually is a performance of any kind that you did when you were not being paid for it. And that is for it. Can I retain that innocence of knowing that I'm not going to be making more than 200 to 500 rupees a night and still put in as much effort when I'm being paid? That much more. So much more. Because the day that you start, and you all will be paid big amounts of money someday, remember that. But the enthusiasm with which you're sitting and working today and putting in your projects today, I really would like to ask you, would you be able to do it with as much exuberance and excitement and innocence? If you can retain that, trust me, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. I tell you what happened day before yesterday. I received an email, and this is fresh in my memory, and I was walking, what different can I say to these people? I received an email from Ratan Tata. I performed for Ratan Tata's farewell dinner party 5 nights ago, night before last. I got an email from him telling me how much he enjoyed the performance. I hosted the show. There was a 40-minute film that I gave a voiceover for. I narrated his entire story, which is an inspiring enough experience for anybody to sit and narrate Ratan Tata's story. 40-minute film, I sat and dubbed the film. I hosted the show on stage. I told jokes like Ratan Tata would. I came and spoke about Ratan Tata, and finally I sang him a song, right? And I thought I did a good job. He sends me an email and thanks me for it. And he said, "It was truly professional the way you did the show, and I thank you for it." And it's a beautiful email, right? And then I said, when I was replying, and I replied this morning, it took me a day to come up with a reply. And I said, "Mr. Tata," I don't know the exact words, even though I was doing it on the airport this morning. I said, "Mr. Tata, I'm truly inspired that night. I was truly inspired that night, and that is probably the reason why I gave in my best performance that day. And I have realized that if there was no inspiration behind that performance, the performance would be merely a professional one. From this day on, whatever I do, I'll be in the quest of being an inspired professional, because I do not like that word, professional. A professional is someone who walks in on set at 9 o'clock in the morning and leaves at 6 o'clock in the evening and gives you his full attention. A professional is somebody who sleeps, eats, and drinks and thinks about that one thing because he should be inspired. Don't give yourselves the tag of professional. It's a bad word. I've gone over time.